Hey everyone. CBC News politics exclusive. Military cops struggle to enforce mental health laws. MPs had to call local officers to help 10 times over 18 months in Western Canada. It's disturbing stuff, folks. One night in early May, a troubled soldier wandered into the military police detachment in Edmonton and laid out a detailed plan to kill himself. Instead of taking the person immediately into custody and conveying him to hospital, the officers were obliged to call the RCMP to the base so they could take charge. The man at one point tried to leave while they were waiting, and the MPs were reduced to pleading with him to stay. The Mounties arrived in time, and the soldier was taken to hospital. So everything worked out well in that situation, right? It is a dramatic illustration of the conundrum faced military cops who have authority over criminal code violations but cannot enforce specific provincial laws across the country, even on Canadian Forces bases. In those instances, they are required to call an outside law enforcement, sometimes in a crisis. And that was mean to have protection instead of using the military and the full force of the military and the secrecy contained within those tribunals or proceedings. It was about, trying to shine a little bit of light and taking people that are not in that particular circumstance, in that particular gang or group, so that they could be at least somewhat objective. I understand the reasons behind why these laws and rules were written up, so that, hey, you need to call an outside, police force to get involved, to intervene. But what we're seeing now today is they're trying to undermine that and trying to make it so that, hey, if we just call or use the term mental illness, we should have the authority to use whatever means or tactics that we deem necessary to impose our will, our edicts, our authority on our subordinates. Now, I'm not a military man, and I'm certainly not in law enforcement. But what I am is a decent, compassionate human being, and this is something I stand completely in opposition to. The good men and women that maybe they have, maybe they haven't learned totally, when they join the military force, but the ones that had good intentions, right, and just wanted to protect the Canadian population. These people don't need to have their political or military masters have even more authority over them. I know many military men, and their superiors, their commanders, already have a massive amount of authority over them and have the ability to prevent them from even speaking out or saying anything, right? They're sworn to secrecy in so many ways. They're forced to be such mindlessly obedient subordinates that a lot of them, they just, and you can't quit. That's another thing. You can't quit. Once you sign that contract, once you sign the dotted line, they can hold you to be subjective to their authority until that contract is no longer relevant or enforced under any legality. So please, if you're a military man or woman, you just know this. There are people like myself, and we're not part of any collective gang or group, any political or military or police enforcement group. But we do care about you, because like I say, I know many people. I grew up in New Brunswick. Fredericton is the major city where I grew up, and Gagetown, and I have friends, good, decent people that are in the military or were in the military, active and inactive or retired at this point. And I know them to be just good people. They might have not understood things properly. They probably had the right intentions, but went to the wrong gang to carry out their good intentions. But I understand where their heart, where their mind and their soul lies and what their true intentions and goals were. So I need you to understand right now that people like myself, we're more than willing. That's why I'm making this video, to point out that yes, I don't think it's right for these people to have any pretense of authority any more than they already have over you. Because I understand once you start that precedent, once you set that precedent, what they will use, they'll use that as an authoritarian measure to suppress anyone that speaks up or speaks out against their particular authority. So Canada, if you truly care about the men and women in the military and those that you perceive as your protectors, those who you perceive that are your guardians against any foreign threat or even domestic threats, show some solidarity. Speak up in opposition from having these people having this much authority. They already have way more than they should ever have. It's a Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.